Have you experienced riding indoors and the grinding at 40 RPMs up steep slopes? Well, there are some settings to do in MyWhoosh to up the cadence. I'm talking gradient feel and virtual shifting. Today we're gonna see what all these settings mean and how they affect your ride, but they seem to be a bit like each other. So isn't one of them unnecessary? So jumping into MyWhoosh, to reach the settings, click up here and under equipment. And here we have gradient feel, and a bit further down you have virtual shifting. Right now I have virtual shifting off and gradient feel on 50%. The default setting in MyWhoosh is 50%, and in the rule set for racing on MyWhoosh, that's the minimal setting you can have on gradient feel to be qualified to race. But we're gonna ride uphill and see what the gradient feel do to your ride. And I'm gonna start with the default setting of 50%, and I'm gonna cancel and go into a free ride. I have already looked for a route where the uphill comes quite quick, and it is coast and country on California. And here we see we have the hill quite right away. So let's start and see how it feels. I'm riding with an 11. I think I have an 1132 cassette on my bike. So yeah, just pedaling away a bit. And when going uphill, I will try to keep, well, around 200 watts, maybe around there in the uphill. Now it's starting to go a bit uphill here. First you have a small incline, and then it flattens out again. So 2.8% over here. Okay, so keeping around 220 watts. I will of course have the gear on the bike the same. Right now the chain line is, well, optimal, I guess. Quite a straight chain line. And I have on the big ring in the front 53. So right now I think I have a gearing of 53. .28 maybe. So of course, quite a hefty ratio going up here. But we'll see, around 220. Now the real climb starts around 220, grinding away at 57, 58 RPMs. And of course I could shift down to the small ring in the front and get a quicker cadence. So I ride, I don't know, 2.5 kilometers or something, maybe 5.7, 5.4, 4.3. And remember, I have the gradient feel on 50%. So this gradient should be, well, 2.4% right now. So not that much. So here, 6.8%, around 60 RPM, 61, 62. Okay, been riding 2.5 kilometers while doing about 60 meters of elevation. So, but I think that's enough to try the settings. Menu and ride, upload. Won't want to miss any kilometers on Strava. Okay, yes, go. And now change the gradient feel to 100%. Save. So free ride. Find the same route. Yeah. Now, elevation, coast and country. All right. Best to drink a lot when riding indoors. Okay, so let's go. And let me know in the comments which indoor app you're riding. Is it Swift, MyWhoosh, or anything else? Let me know. It's always interesting to get a discussion about it. Okay, so here uphill starts. Oh, feel the difference already. 7%. I can't grind on 38, 40 RPMs. Not good for the knees. I'm even down on 30s now. So, whole lot of grinding. But the thing is with gradient feel, yeah, you think, well, you're riding 50% of the gradient, so basically half of the percentage. Yeah, isn't that cheating? Well, no, you still have to produce the same watts to go at the same speed. So I mean, going 100%, of course, you grind 40, and the slopes are as in reality. Well, how much reality it can be in these kind of situations, but so changing the gradient field to 50% means, of course, the slope is not as steep, but you still have to produce the same watts to get up at the same speed. So that means increasing cadence, maybe get a more healthier cadence going uphill. But still you have to put the intensity down to get up to the same watts, of course. And also going downhill and on the flats. Well, riding 100%, you get easier up to speed. Doesn't have to use the gearing as much. Okay, so now going up 7%, I am on 30, under 40 RPMs. Keep to try 220 watts. You see, it's just a mess for your knees, and I guess your knees won't probably feel so good doing this constantly. Couldn't keep up this for very long uphill. It's too low cadence. Okay, yeah, quite a noticeable difference. So let's quit this and put on virtual shifting. And ride. Upload. Kilometers. Into the bank. We're closing in on level 20. Nice, it's close now. Okay, into the settings. I will start with the gradient field on 100% and put on virtual shifting. Save. Choose the same route, of course. Coast and country. All right. So now I should get a gearing functionality on the HUD. Yeah. So there we have it down in the corner. Gearing should be between 1 and 30 or something. First gear, and going up. Click, click, click. Yeah, 30. So let's start with 30. Get this one going. Okay, virtual gear 30. Just a mess. It's hardly I can pedal away. So that's a bit too hard. So turn it down to gear 1. There we have it. Let's go. Okay, 2.8%, and I just paddling away at 90 RPMs. 110, 100 watts. Yeah, okay, yeah. 4%. So there isn't any resistance almost. The thing is, if I kept the highest gear on the bike, well, yeah, of course, I can quite easily get up to 200 plus watts. Of course, it's going uphill here, but yeah. Okay, so usual using the virtual gearing, it's quite a big difference between gear 1 and gear 30. 100% gradient feel and gear 30 on the virtual gears is not realistic to ride, actually. Well, if you are super strong, of course, maybe, but for most people, I think that's a no combination. Using gear 1 and 100% gradient feel, well, I had to change the gears on my bike to 1153 to reach a quite good wattage and speed and RPMs. But I think if you having a race bike with 22, 24 gears, you probably, well, the easiest way would be to just use the gradient feel. Maybe have it and whatever, actually, what feels good to you, as long as you don't race. Because if you race, you need to have it at least 50%. But so whatever is good for you to get a good cadence. I think 50% is okay for me, at least. So I think the virtual gears maybe are more for if you ride on a trainer with fewer gears, maybe even a single speed, and then having the virtual gear to change the gearing would be really nice. And of course you can use it also on a race bike if you don't want to use the biking on the gearing on the bike and change gears there. Of course, it is a bit of a hassle to change the gears on the virtual gearing, at least if you don't have any buttons or anything for it. Then you need to click on the screen. If you have the MyWhoosh Link app, then you are supposed to be able to change the gears there. Let me just see where I have it. Log in. I need to log in. It's just stupid. Okay, sign in. Now we have it. That's okay. Yeah. So that's the trouble with my link. You need to connect via my link to the app to be able to use the virtual gearing buttons on my link. So if you haven't connected through the via my link, then you need to use the screen. Yeah, so that's one downside of the MyLink app. At least if you compare it to Swift Companion, that is, well, much better app. But yeah, well, so using 100% is not good for the knees if you're not super strong. But of course you can always play around with it, and if you're riding a really flat route, then you can maybe change it to 100%. But I have it on 50% and don't think about it at the moment, at least. So I guess the gradient feel and the virtual gearing, it has different scenarios for when it is usable. So if you have a race bike, then I guess you use whatever is feeling good for you, and then you can have the gradient. If you use the virtual gearing, you can have the gradient feel on 100 and use the virtual gearing instead. But I think it is a bit unnecessary to use both at the same time. So that's my 5 cents about it. Let me know which if you use the virtual gearing, and also if what percentage you ride you have your gradient feel on. And thanks for watching. See ya. Ciao.